Update settings for YouTube. Start video transmission. Post tweet. Stream starting soon. Calling all Foundation staff. This is Dr. Theron Sherman and my associate Billith. We are digitizing our signal. We are reticulating our splines. Please let us know if you hear us in the chat. We are going live for the SCP-7000 contest entries. Stream number 14. Not 14 weeks because we did a couple multi-streams, but we are here. Chat, let us know if you hear us. While we're waiting for the chat to fill us in on our successful stream, TikTok viewers, make sure all 157 of you head to the Site42 YouTube. Make sure to subscribe using your encrypted YouTube accounts. Do not use your civilian accounts. Again, Steve, the veil gets a little more ragged every time. It's like fishnets that are just a little too overused. You gotta retire those. Oi. All right. We are being heard. Head over to YouTube so you can see my wonderful guest as well as our beautiful special effects budget. We're putting it all on the line here. YouTube chat, we are here for you in 3, 2, 1. Hey there, Foundation staff. This is Dr. Theron Sherman and my wonderful associate Billith. Welcome to another Anomalous broadcast from Site42.
Happy to be here. Happy to keep reading these. I hope that that there's an end at some point. I'm not allowed to leave the studio until we've read them all, and the food is getting very thin here. There's very little to eat.
Everything we've told you about Dr. Cimmerian's tree fund, Billith is having to do that remotely because the ankle chains are quite secure, contained, and protected.
This is true. This is true. I'm not looking forward to the amnestics either, but you know, I do it all for you, Cimmerian, who's definitely in the chat, I assume.
Obviously, Cimmerian's in the chat. Cimmerian is everywhere.
Yes, sir. And we are starting off strong today with SCP-7599. Let's see what the name is for that one.
SCP-7599 by... Where is it? Where is it on the list? It's not even on my 7K list right here. Where'd it go?
7599, also known as The Odds Eternally in His Favor. That's unique. I've never heard that before.
I like the title.
Yeah, it's definitely not a reference to anything as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I've never heard it. It's very unique.
And that is by, I can go down here and look at the history. That is by, it's not happy. It's not loading. Oh, here we go. It is by Golden Changes. Golden Changes, everyone.
All right, we are looking at the Inter-Reality Communications and Relations Department database. All right, let's dive right in. Let's see what this is about and why the audience didn't mesh with it today, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Director Adams. You are currently attempting to view files restricted to Level 5, 7599 clearance. Please enter the correct password. Wrong attempts will lock you out of the terminal temporarily. Input: the odds eternally in his favor. Boop. Inter-Reality Communications and Relations Department database. Confirming password. Password accepted. You have been granted access to all files marked as 57599 clearance. Files available. IRCR Common Entries Archive 7599, 28th of March 2021. The others are temporarily unavailable. I wonder if they'll show up later. Boop. Ooh, now I have to rearrange the page for formatting. Notice from the Foundation Records and Information Security Administration. The following entry contains archived information pertaining to SCP-7599. Due to the updated containment procedures and, oh my god, don't block my screen please, and the reclassification of SCP-7599, IRCR administration has replaced this file with a new one containing revised information and has it locked to 57599 clearance. All mentions of the original archive file have been wiped off the SCP database. To view the revision, Please request 57599 clearance from a senior member of the IRCR department. Signed, Maria Jones, Director, Riza. Item number, SCP-7599. Classification Level 3, Confidential. Containment Class, Safe. Disruption Class, Vlam. Risk Class, Warning. Special Containment Procedures. Both SCP-7599 instances are currently contained in standard item storage lockers in Site-19. Personnel wishing to conduct tests with SCP-7599 are required to submit Level 3 credentials to the current lead researcher. Footnote. As of the 29th of April 2020, Senior Researcher Maya Eldon. Pictured is 2 instances of SCP-7599, 7599-1 and 7599-2. Description. Sorry, quick distraction. And we're here. SCP-7599 refers to two 6-faced, cube-shaped black dice, both 1 centimeter in height, length, and width. The dice have standard numbers etched onto their faces, opposite sides adding up to 7, except for one of the die, SCP-7599-1, which has a symbol of a handshake on one of its sides instead of the 1. The dice are made out of an unknown material, which resembles plastic in weight, reflectivity, and hardness. The anomalous effects of SCP-7599 manifest when at least one of the die are in close proximity to a human being. This person, hereby known as SCP-7599-A instance, will, from that point on, experience a large amount of events that can be considered lucky. The probability of these events occurring normally will, over time, lower. Examples of this phenomenon would include precisely guessing lottery numbers, winning in games that would be identified as gambling, and repeatedly being able to manipulate the results of a coin flip. Luck in situations not defined by computable probability, such as being able to survive usually fatal gunshots or crashes, or being able to accurately and exactly predict someone's personal info, have also been observed. See testing logs for more info. Addendum 75991. Discovery. The Foundation's Inter-Reality Communications and Relations Department, known as the IRCR, discovered a class triangle, Delta, I'm gonna go with Delta, abnormality in an alternate reality on the 21st of March 2019, while reviewing realities for Project Probinum on the 1st of April 2019. Another abnormality was detected, this time classified as Class C. Footnote. Class Delta. Abnormalities occur when a reality branches off from base timeline due to the activation of an anomaly. Class C abnormalities occur when more anomalous activities activate, but do not significantly impact their reality. IRCR staff were unable to identify the source of the abnormalities, and thus the reality was added to the project and was first accessed by specialists on the 10th. On the 12th of November 2019, the source of one of the abnormalities was pinpointed to the location of Jack Midway Doyle, hereby SCP-7599-A1, a male adult living by himself in Madison. Footnote. A city in the state of Wisconsin, a part of the USA. It was discovered that SCP-7599-A1 had been titled The Luckiest Man Alive on numerous occasions by news publications and television broadcasters in the reality. It was suspected that SCP-7599-A1 had some connection with the anomalous entity or was anomalous themselves. With an anomalous entity or was anomalous themselves. On the 14th, Dr. Erica Brom and her team were assigned with establishing communications with SCP-7599-A1. They ran extensive background checks and attempted to contact him via his cellular device on 3 separate occasions on the 14th and 15th, all of which failed. First successful contact with SCP-7599-A1 was made on the 16th of April by the IRCR, and they were interviewed by Dr. Brom. After information from this interview was compiled by the team and sent to Mobile Task Force Tau 51, footnote, a mobile task force unit that specialized in containment and recovery of SCP objects from urban environments, SCP-7599 was located and secured in baseline reality via search of the warehouse supplying the store SCP-7599-A1 had bought the dice from. See Addendum 7599-2 for the transcript of the interview. Addendum 7599.2 Interview Transcript. Background information. Dr. Eric Abram is a communications expert in the IRCR, specializing in interviewing high-importance targets and securing information from them. SCP-7599-A1 is an adult male from the Reality 102, named Jack Midway Doyle, thought to have a connection with the two abnormalities detected in this reality. Dr. Braun was able to communicate with SCP-7599-A1 on the 16th of April 2019 through his personal cell phone. Interview lasted from 10:42 to 10:50. Interviewer, Dr. Eric Abram. Interviewee, SCP-7599-A1. You want to be the POI?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Begin log. Good evening, Mr. Doyle.
Good evening. Who would this be? I don't use my personal phone number for business.
This isn't about a business endeavor, Mr. Doyle. And regarding your name, it is one of the many things we know about you.
We? Who are you exactly?
I am Dr. Eric Abram. I'm an inter-reality communications specialist. My job description, or who I work for, isn't important. What's important is that you tell us the truth.
I don't get it.
Several seconds of silence ensues. Well, let's start simple. When did it start?
What do you mean?
All of this. Your empire, so to speak. Your life was rather tough until something changed. Divorced, poor, lost custody of your child, dad battling with cancer, I'm sure many more problems. Until one fateful day, something must have happened to you, as everything just started going uphill from that point on.
You know, I'm not really a fan of prank calls. Fuck off.
I promise, as we keep talking, everything. Dr. Braum is cut off as SCP-7599-A1 hangs up his cellular device. Communications are reestablished several minutes later. Mr. Doyle, I don't believe you know how much effort we put into contacting you. It's not as easy as dialing a number for us.
Stop calling me, you freaks. Fuck off with that different realities bullshit.
Mr. Doyle, I understand it is difficult for you to cope with the current situation, but I implore you to listen to me. Several seconds of silence ensues, finally broken by an audible gasp from SCP-7599-1.
A gasp. More like a sigh, I think, maybe. Fine. I'll give you 5 minutes.
So, Mr. Doyle, you've been labeled the luckiest man alive by many. But from what we can tell, you weren't always so fortunate. Something must have happened to you to facilitate this change. Do you have any ideas as to what that might have happened?
No, not really.
Really? Very well then. Do you recall the day you went to your ex-wife's home to visit your son for his birthday, but your ex-wife wouldn't let you?
What the fuck does this have to do with anything, asshole?
It was the day you managed to put your life back together. You couldn't see your kid, but you got a job offer only a week later. So in essence, it was the last bad thing that happened to you. Did anything special happen to you in that 1 week period?
I suppose. I just felt like everything was going uphill for me. Went to the pub that evening. Me and a couple of my buddies played dice. Never won at dice until that day, but, you know, everything sort of just went in my favor. Felt like...
Dr. Braum interject. What type of dice did you use?
I bought them myself. They were like my lucky dice. I've kept them ever since.
How did you get a hold of the dice?
They were from a Monopoly set I bought.
Right. Tell me more about the Monopoly set. Where'd you buy it? When? Is there anything special about the box it came in? You get the picture.
What? Why are you asking me all this? I don't get it.
With all due respect, Mr. Doyle, please cooperate with me. I've tried my best to be charitable with you, and I'm not one to use coercion, especially in such a situation.
I think I still have the box. I'll go check really quick. But afterwards, I want a real good explanation.
Certainly. You give some, you get some. Footsteps, opening and closing of doors and drawers can be heard.
All right, I've got it. It's just a Monopoly set. Now tell me what the fuck is going on, will you?
Describe the set for me. SCP-7599-A1 can be heard rotating the box on a solid surface. It is so clear from his voice that he's getting irritated.
It says Monopoly, Las Vegas edition on the cover. I don't know how else to explain it. It's Monopoly.
Anything out of the ordinary?
I don't know.
Mr. Doyle, would you be kind enough to look up the Las Vegas-themed Monopoly set on the internet, please?
All right.
SCP-7599-A1 can be heard typing on his keyboard.
Okay, now what?
Take a close look. Is there really no difference between the original and the one you have?
No.
That complicates things.
Oh, shit.
Mr. Doyle?
The guy's holding a 4-leaf clover instead of a stick.
I see. Where did you buy the set from?
Hold on.
I apologize, Mr. Doyle. That was a stupid question from my end. You bought it from the local Toys R Us in Madison.
The fuck? How do you know all this shit?
Thank you very much for cooperating, Mr. Doyle. I have a feeling this won't be the last time we speak.
Wait, hold on.
Take care, Mr. Doyle. I wish you luck. Communications are cut off. End log. Conclusion. Information about SCP-7599 and the box it was initially packaged with was recorded by Dr. Brahm and passed on to Mobile Task Force Tau 51 units. SCP-7599-A1 attempted to call IRCR Communications again, but the call was left unanswered. Due to Brahm's direct and questionable means of interviewing the subject, a vote among the Administratory Department for possible disciplinary action was held. This vote was vetoed by the department director. Addendum 7599-3 Testing Logs. Testing was conducted by Dr. Robert Conwell on the 20th of October in Site Testing Lab C. Testing reason was to observe whether there was a gradual change in how lucky an SCP-7599-A instance was as time went on. Subject, junior researcher Aaron Cross, was handed SCP-7599-1 and told to hold it for a set amount of time that was increased across tests. After this, an unbiased random number generator was used to generate a number from 1 to 1,000, 3 times in a row. Subject was asked to guess what the number was each time, and the generated number along with their answers were noted down. Computer program Delta L. Footnote. Originally developed for the AIAD for usage in testing probability-related anomalies, was used to measure accuracy and standard deviation. Test 1. 1:14:00 hours 1 minutes, I guess. Procedure. Subject was not given SCP-7599 and was asked to guess the numbers. Result. Table has subject response generated number deviation. Guess 1. 112. 243. Deviation of 131. Guess 2. 476. 900. Deviation of 424. Guess 3. 736. 378. Deviation 358. Standard deviation, footnote. The mean average of the deviations of each guess. Standard deviation can be used as a way of testing probability. 304.33. Accurate guesses, none. Conclusion. Subject utilized random guessing and no signs of unexpected probability were detected by Delta L. Test 2, 3 minutes later. Procedure. Subject was given SCP-7599-1 for 20 minutes. Results. Guess 1 was 468. The generated number was 315. The deviation was 153. Guess 2, the subject response was 172. Generated number 257. Deviation of 85. Guess 3, 682. Generated number of 891. Deviation 209. Standard deviation 149. Accurate guesses none. Conclusion. Delta L detected guessing odds slightly higher than average. Expected odds showing an increase of precision from Test 1. Test 3. What? Wait a minute. Was given 7911 for 20 minutes, but the test only took place 3 minutes later. Oh, and then I don't know how these timetables are working.
No, it's an interesting usage of standard deviation.
So at 1400 hours, 27 minutes, we had test 3. Procedure subject was given SCP-759-1 for 40 minutes. Results. Guess 1, 128. Generated number 214. Deviation of 86. Guess 2, 191. Generated number 056. Deviation 135. Guess 3, 937. Generated number 986. Deviation 49. Standard deviation 90. Accurate guesses none. Conclusion. Delta L once again detected luck in guessing higher than what was expected. Test 4, 1500 hours 11 minutes. Procedure. Subject was given SCP-7599.1 for 1 hour. Pre-results. Guess 1, 291, generated number 374, deviation 83. Guess 2, 712, generated number 633, deviation 79. Guess 3, 912, generated number 840, deviation 72. Standard deviation 78. Accurate guesses none. Conclusion. Delta L reported the probability of subjects' guesses being this precise as close to the previous test, being only slightly higher. Test 5, 1600 hours, 15 minutes. Procedure. Subject was given SCP-7599-1 for 2 hours. Results. Subject response 098. Generated number 147. Deviation 49. Guess 2, 900. Generated number 841. Deviation 59. Guess 3, 498. Generated number 433. Deviation 65. Standard deviation 57.66. Accurate guesses. Guess 1. That wasn't an accurate guess. It wasn't the same number.
Not at all accurate. What are you talking about?
Conclusions. Alerts of potential cheating were brought up by Delta L, notifying an abnormality in the subject's luck. What? Test 6, 1800 hours, 21 minutes. Procedure. Given for 4 hours. Results. Guess 1, 480. Generated number 440. Deviation 40. Guess 2, 316. Generated number 376. Deviation 60. Guess 3, 721. Generated number 711. Deviation 10. Standard deviation 36.66. Accurate guesses. Guess 1, guess 3. What are you defining as accurate? What? Conclusion. Once again, Delta L alerted possible cheating, but also altered of the first pattern irregularity, mentioning that all the subject responses share the same digit as the generated number. What are you calling an accurate guess? I don't get it. Final test 7, 2300 hours, 27 minutes. Procedure, 8 hours. Result, guess 1, 922. Generated number, 925. Deviation 3. Guess 2, 24. Generated number, 60. Deviation 36. Guess 3, 95. Generated number, 113. Deviation 18. Standard deviation 19. Accurate guesses, guess 1, guess 2, guess 3. I do not know what you're calling accurate. Conclusion. Delta L notified an extremely low standard deviation and thus declared that the odds of such an event were near impossible. All guesses have been marked accurate, and guess 1 has been declared as close to perfect response. I mean, yeah, off by 3. I guess that's like really, really close for a random guess.
I guess.
I would, if they defined accurate as within a range, I would get it, but right now I don't as a layman. And you said something about the standard deviation being weird, but I don't know what that means. And so, because I'm a theater college dropout, so continuing on.
That's fair.
Test 7599, 3-1 conclusion. Testing finished at 2300 hours, 10 minutes, as measured by Delta L. There was an increase in luck in the subject's guesses, measured through probability and standard deviation. These odds could not reasonably occur in normal conditions, effectively proving that SCP-77 599, oh, we got an extra digit there, instances have more luck in guessing and predictions as time goes on. However, doing the same test with higher periods of time have been recommended to measure at which point a perfect response may occur. Testing log B. Testing was conducted by Dr. Maya Eldon on the 27th of October in Site Testing Lab A and B. Testing reason was to attempt to see if SCP-7599-A instances could accurately predict someone's personal information, thus proving that SCP-7599's luck is not limited to events with purely computable probabilities. The subjects chosen were junior researcher Cameron Knox and Agent Alice. They were asked to keep SCP-7599-1 and SCP-7599-2 respectively on them for 24 hours before testing commenced. They were both presented with 3 photos of 3 Foundation members, 2 of them deceased and 1 of them still alive and retired, all taken in the same year. They were then asked to randomly guess information such as their birth year, their death year, or whether they were deceased, where they were born and where they died, what age they were when the pictures were taken, what their favorite animal was, what their favorite color was, where did they come from, where did they go. That, I was just joking. The predictions were noted and once again put through Delta L to test for accuracy. Test 1, 1200 hours, 30 minutes. Individual 1. Photo was deceased researcher Sofia Simonov, born in 1956 in Kazan, Russia, and died in 2004 in Glasgow, UK. Picture was taken in 2001 while she was at age of 46, a few years before she died in a car accident. Her favorite animals were snow leopards, and her favorite color was red. Recorded answers. Subject Cameron, 1954. Subject accuracy, deviation 2, accurate. Footnote. Shortened version of deviancy, a measure of how far off a guess is from another one. Subject Alice was born in 1957. Subject accuracy, deviation 1, very accurate. Death year, 2003. Deviation 1, very accurate. Subject Alice, 2007. Subject accuracy, deviation 3. Place of birth, Russia. Subject accuracy, correct country, lacking city. Subject Alice, Chelny, Russia. Subject accuracy, correct country, neighboring city. Place of death, Glasgow, Scotland. Subject accuracy, completely accurate. Subject Alice, Scotland. Subject accuracy, correct region, lacking region/city. Age of time of photo, subject Cameron, 42, deviation 4. Subject Alice, 44, deviation 2, accurate. Favorite animal, feline. For Cameron. Subject accuracy, correct genus, lacking species. Subject Alice, house cat. Subject accuracy, correct genus, wrong species. Subject Cameron says favorite color was yellow. Subject accuracy, incorrect, warm color. Subject Alice guessed red. Subject accuracy, exact color. Test 2, 1200 hours, 48 minutes, individual 2. Photo is of currently alive Adam Everest, born 1972 in Washington, USA. Picture was taken in 2003 while he was age of 31. His favorite animals are turtles and his favorite color is green. Subject Cameron guessed 1969. Deviation 3 accurate. Subject Alex guessed 1976. Deviation 4. Death year, Cameron guessed 2018. Accuracy, unable to distinguish whether deceased or not. Subject Alice guessed 2000 redacted. Subject accuracy, current year, uncertain accuracy. Interesting. Place of birth, Cameron guessed USA. Subject accuracy, correct country, lacking city. Subject Alice, Toronto, Canada. Subject accuracy, neighboring country, inaccurate city. Place of death, Cameron said unsure. Accuracy, unable to analyze. Subject Alice, UK. Subject accuracy, current position, uncertain accuracy. Age of time of photo, Cameron guessed 31, deviation 0, very accurate. Alice guessed 28, deviation 3, accurate. Subject animal, or favorite animals, Cameron guessed tortoise, correct order, wrong species. Alice guessed dog, inaccurate. Favorite color, blue, Cameron guessed, incorrect, cold color. Blue was also Alice's guess, incorrect, cold color. Test 3, 1300 hours, 10 minutes, individual 3. Photo was of deceased field agent Gary Christopher, born in 1979 in Leeds, UK, and died in 2016 in London, UK. Picture was taken in 2015 while he was at the age of 37, shortly before he died during a field operation due to chest wounds. His favorite animals were dogs, and his favorite color was white. Cameron guessed birth year 1980. Subject accuracy, deviation 1, very accurate. Subject Alice guessed 1965. Subject accuracy was deviation 14, inaccurate. Death year, Cameron guessed 2013, deviation 2, accurate. Alice guessed 2016, deviation 1, very accurate. Place of birth, UK, Cameron guessed, correct country, lacking city. Alice guessed London, UK, correct country, wrong city. Place of death, Ireland. Accuracy, neighboring country, lacking city. Subject Alice guessed London, UK, correct city. Age at time of photo, age 40, Cameron guessed, deviation 3, accurate. 41 guessed Alice, deviation 4. Favorite animal, dog, Cameron guessed, correct species. House cat, Alice guessed, incorrect species. Favorite color, gray, Cameron guessed, that was incorrect. Subject Alice guessed white, correct color. Test 7599-3-2 conclusion. Testing finished at 1300 hours, 35 minutes, while Delta L concluded that the probability of certain guesses were much higher than usual. Conclusive signs of cheating manipulation of luck were not detected. Testing considered inconclusive, and a second attempt is recommended. Please no, do not do it again. I don't want to read it again. Whew. Your terminal has received a notification. Click to view. Terminal notification. Your IRCR terminal has received the following notification. File list assigned to 5799 clearance has been updated. Return to terminal. Oh, dear God, help me. Okay, we're back to the terminal, and we have an update for 102 on the 14th of February, 2022. So, 11 months later. Valentine's Day specifically. Interesting. Ooh, this is new. Reality 102, classification level Beta 5, Administrator. Exploration class, Unexplored. Probinum class, Abyssal. Risk class, Unknown. Description. I gotta move this so it's on screen. Okay, after all that rapping, indulge Dr. Sherman for a minute to drink. Drink water. Oh me. Oh my. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Okay. All right. We're back. Description. Reality 102 is the designation of one of the 3 realities attached to Epsilon 5. Reality 102 shares connections with 4 other realities, 103, 104, 106, and 112. A potential connection with 105 is also believed to exist, however this has not been proven or refuted. Due to a major CK-class restructuring event, thought to be connected to an anomalous source, Reality 102 has entered a state of partial collapse and has become an abyssal reality. Footnote. Abyssal realities refer to realities which, due to K-class events, have been irreversibly damaged. Such realities have had the borders around themselves melted away, thus allowing the void on the opposing side to seep in. Only 1 trace of life has been detected inside of 102, see addenda. As Reality 102 is in a fractured state, the entry of an item or person into it will initiate a full-on collapse. A possible way to open up a gateway into it is being worked on, but further investigations into the internal parts of the reality via entryway into it has been restricted to protect the realities 102 is connected to. Usage under Project Probinum. Reality 102 was first accessed before the CK-class restructuring event, and it was deemed appropriate to be cataloged and utilized for the project due to its similarity to baseline reality. IRCR specialists first accessed it on the 10th of April 2019, and finally cut off access 6 days later on the 16th. Through intercepting the news, broadcasting, and internet of the reality, the IRCR was able to detect and discover 2 separate anomalies. SCP-7599, which was discovered through a man by the name of Jack Midway Doyle. Mr. Doyle had appeared on the news on 3 separate occasions in the last 5 days, for winning the lottery twice in a row, for being the survivor of a fatal car crash, and for an interview by the Wisconsin State Journal where his emotional rags-to-riches story was discussed and revealed to the public. After multiple failed attempts, the IRCR set up communications with him via a phone call on the 16th of April, after which SCP-7599 was quickly found. The full discovery and interview log is present on SCP-7599's file. Is that going to link me back to where we were before? Or is that the next offset? This is where we previously were. Okay. So we do not need to read this again. So back to where we were. Next up, SCP-Redacted 3 digits, which was discovered after the IRCR investigated disappearances that occurred in White Pine Hollow Forest, a state forest located in Iowa. Surveillance of this area showed SCP-Redacted dragging bodies from nearby areas into a den located in the middle of the forest. Agents quickly returned back to normal reality and alerted Mobile Task Force Eta-10, codename See No Evil. Footnote: Mobile Task Force that specializes in the investigation, acquisition, and initial containment of objects or entities exhibiting visual cognitohazards. To the presence of the SCP in the park. Mobile Task Force units successfully secured and contained it in baseline reality on the 18th. No other signs or indications of unknown anomalous objects were observed during the 6 days the IRCR had contact with Reality 102. Communications with the reality were not restored until Project Probinum was restarted, and 102's current status was discovered by the IRCR. Addendum: Recovered journal entries. The following journal entries were recovered after an internal scan of the reality was conducted by the IRCR to declare if any technological devices, anomalous or not, were remaining and still being actively used. Only 2 were found, both of which were located in Wisconsin, a state in the USA. Attempts to enter and download the files from outside of the reality via wavelength interception were conducted. While one of the devices could not be reached in any way, presumably due to the fact that it was a cellular device, the other one could be partial accessed. The device, a MacBook Air, could only have files from its Notes and Preview app downloaded. Most of the notes were journal entries written through the 18th of March 2021 to the 21st of May the same year. No other notes were written after that date. While an exact name was not discovered anywhere in the journal entries, they are presumed to belong to Jack Doyle. Due to mentions of SCP-7599, the interview with the IRCR conducted with him on the 16th, and the events that fit the timeline the IRCR had plotted in the reality from the 10th to the 16th. Some of the entries have been omitted for brevity. View file 102 journal entries. Oh, sweet fancy Moses. Hey, Billith, welcome back. You were voicing Jack Midway Doyle, who, I must admit, has a dope-ass name. I like the name Jack Midway Doyle as a cool, character name.
Sure.
But these are his journal entries. You want to hop in for a minute?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's not a problem at all.
Lovely, my friend.
All right. All right. You already read the title of this collapsible. Just making sure.
You can start at journal entries March.
Okay. Journal entries March. Entry 1. March 18th, 2019. Monopoly. Terrible game. My son's birthday's coming up, and all I remember from those Christmases when I was still with Angelina was how excited my son would get playing whichever board game she had chosen from the closet. I don't remember ever playing Monopoly, though. I had to hope that Angelina hadn't already bought him the game when I was gone. Bought it from Toys R Us. I haven't been ever there ever since I was a child, but I have to admit, there's a level of deep nostalgia one gets from going to places they haven't been to since their childhood. Everything was so vibrant, so colorful, and I almost considered buying myself a board game, a pack of cards, something like that. But I decided against it. After all, I'm already sacrificing some of my treatment money to buy this gift. I certainly can't sacrifice more. It's a Las Vegas edition of the game. The edition doesn't really affect much in the game, just those funny player pieces and some design stuff. The vendor told me it was a, quote, special copy, though. Something about a difference on the cover because it had been designed as a collector's item. Didn't charge me extra for it, though, so I'm not really buying what he said. You know, the salesman at Toys R Us. Alex's birthday is on the 21st, only 3 days. I'm sure Angelina won't let me stay for long. God knows if she even lets me inside, but I'll just have to hope for the best. Buying a gift for him and being unable to even give it would be heartbreaking. I'm sure he wants to see me again, too. Well, I hope he does. Entry 2, March 19th, 2019. I tried to call Angelina today. She doesn't normally pick up my calls, but I thought that she'd at least give me a chance 2 days before my own son's birthday. No reply, though. I tried a few more times later. I know she comes early from work on Fridays. Maybe she just has plans or she's purposefully ignoring me. I'm starting to think it's the latter. Went to the doc today. I'm running out of money to give her those chemo prescriptions. Not like I'm rich enough to afford health insurance either. Minimum wage isn't cutting it for me anymore. At least Dad's doing better. I called him to see how he was doing. He's finally stopped smoking, apparently. But considering he's told me about this, he told me 3 times in the last 3 months and not gone through with it, I'm starting to doubt whether he actually wants to or not. Entry 3, March 21st, 2019. Went to Angelina's house with the gift. Never got her to pick up my calls, but I knew that she'd be home. She might be an asshole, but at least she cares about her son enough to spend some time with him for his birthday. Rang the doorbell a few times. I knew she was purposefully not answering, but after a minute or two of waiting, she finally opened the door. Tried to explain that I was here to give a gift, and I just wanted to see my son. But you know what she did? She closed the fucking door on me. Left me standing like an idiot, carrying a Monopoly set meant for my son, probably, presuming, right outside her house. I tried to ring the bell a few more times, but she just wouldn't answer. I could hear her inside talking to Alex. Said I was a random homeless man. Alex probably believed it. He hasn't seen me in a few years. Started breaking down on her doorstep, but it was of no use. Guess there's no going back. Decided to call my friends. She wasn't going to let me see my own kid on my birthday. There's nothing else I could do without feeling like I was going to start breaking down again. Maybe they'd help me relieve my frustration. Called Dave. He said that they were planning to go to the pub to play some dice. I hate playing it, undoubtedly because I keep losing. But if I meant spending some time with people who actually care about me, I would do anything. We met up an hour later. I'd lost the dice I'd normally use playing it a week prior, but I did have a Monopoly set left in my hands. Just nicked the dice. Decided to give it an actual game to someone else whenever I could. Maybe Dave could give it to his own son. Dice is a relatively simple game, mostly luck, entirely luck, maybe a bit of smart probability, but you're not guaranteed to win or anything. I'd never won it before either because I was unlucky or I just had no idea how to calculate probability. But I suppose I got lucky today. Won my first game. Went for a bit of a risky strategy, but it certainly paid off. Let me say, there's really nothing quite as satisfying as beating your friends at a game. After being harassed about it for a few months, I finally had my first game in my pocket. It distracted me from the hellhole the rest of my day had been. And hey, I did also get $5. Enough for a cup of coffee. How much are you betting that your pool is only totals to $5? I guess it's $1 each, maybe. Entry 5, March 25th, 2019. Seems like Lady Luck started taking a fancy to me recently. Bought some scratch cards yesterday. They're just gambling for idiots, but it's not like I have much to lose. They cost $2 each, and even though the first 3 really didn't make it seem like I was going to get anything, I did snag a 20 from the fourth. $12. Not bad at all for something rigged for you to lose. Dad's condition's also getting better. It's only been a week, so might be speaking too soon, but he told me he hasn't touched a cigarette since he started. Coughed a lot less on the phone, so I believe he's telling the truth. Treated myself to some coffee at a cafe that opened up nearby at the apartment today. Small little corner place with a vintage look and a nice atmosphere. Coffee's not as good as Maynard's coffee back home, though I doubt anyone could ever beat that, am I right? But it certainly wasn't bad either. Might go there again whenever I have some extra change. Entry 6, March 28th, 2019. It's been a week since I last saw Angelina. I tried calling her another 2 or 3 times, all left without responses. I guess maybe she's cutting off ties with me permanently. At least she hasn't gotten a restraining order yet. Went to the cafe today again. Didn't have much in mind. Just wanted to enjoy some coffee on a Sunday morning. Wasn't in a particularly amazing mood or anything. It was one of those rainy days, one where you just stare out the window for hours on end with nothing to think about. The monotone was broken when the monotony was broken when I met this wonderful woman, though. Her name's Sierra, and she's beautiful. Brown, long hair, amber eyes, fashionable, everything you could ever want. Compared to my homeless-looking ass, she was certainly a lot better looking. It was about 12, and I was just finishing my coffee, ready to leave. She just sort of came to the table and asked if anyone else was coming and made herself comfortable on the opposite bench. From there, well, she sparked a conversation with me. She's apparently Canadian, born in Toronto, raised there, studied in the U.S. before deciding to live here permanently. She was a traveler by heart. I never really left the U.S. except when I visited my dad back in the U.K., so it was interesting to hear about all the places she had been to. Brazil, New Zealand, Indonesia, Japan, Turkey. She explained tales about all of them while I just listened, sipping my coffee. Of course, the conversation got a bit more private after a while. I had finished talking about Angelina, and she told me she divorced her ex-husband just a few days before. She was going on a work trip to Greece, wonderful country, as she had explained in much detail while we talked about her journeys. But her flight had been postponed to the following day due to weather conditions. So she went home, not telling her husband about it, and caught him cheating on her. Some much younger American girl, apparently. And of course, their relationship cut off there, started crying, and I tried to comfort her. Must have been rough on her, but I guess it was fortunate she caught on about the whole thing earlier, unlike a certain someone. We continued talking for another 2 hours, just sitting and talking. I told her about my whole lung problems, reassured her that it wasn't lethal or anything. And we just exchanged stories, memories, and information. She had to leave eventually, had to meet a friend, but she did give me her number. I love this guy. He's a real complex character. Journal entries, April entry 8, April 1st, 2019. Writing this at 1 a.m. It's been a bit of a busy night. Went on my first proper date with Sierra. Called her in the morning. Asked her if she had any plans, all that classic stuff. She said she didn't. And since I remembered that she had told me her favorite food was pizza, I proposed we go to a nearby Italian place. The food is a Michelin star level fantastic there, but the pizza and desserts are pretty good. And considering they're pretty cheap, it's well worth the money. I decided to be a bit risky and pay the whole bill, only about $10, and I've been getting luckier with the scratch cards recently, so why not be a gentleman? We shared a margarita together. I had some soda, and Sierra decided to go for tiramisu. I think she liked it, so that's always a relief. Afterwards, we just sort of walked around town a bit, talked some more about life, our goals, all that classic cheesy stuff. We watched the night sky in a bit of silence, and Sierra even saw one of those shooting stars. She made a wish, kept it to herself, of course, but I have a feeling I know what it was. We decided to finish the night off with a trip to the cafe, our cafe, where they were having some live music. Some group called the Brickle Brothers. We just drank some coffee, enjoyed the jazz, then went parted ways near midnight. Can't lie, it was the most fun I've had in years. Okay, entry 9, April 5th, 2019. Something must have changed. Life's looking up for me all of a sudden. I've been just getting luckier. Won my first 50 from a scratch card, another 20 directly after. I'm not sure what the probability of that is, but I'm certain it's rather low. Dad's treatment's finally going successfully. Combined with some lucky circumstances and the fact that he stopped with the cigarettes, seems like he might actually have a chance of being healthy again. It's a slim chance considering he's rather old and inactive even for his age, but still one that I hope for. My treatment's fine too. Finally, I was able to start buying meds again. Not all of them. Some of them have taken a pricey markup since I last bought them, but enough to keep me well for now. And well, the greatest thing that happened is that's happened is that I got a job, or well, a job offer, counselor for a relatively big office. Maybe that psychology degree finally paid off. There's an interview on Friday, and if I pass that, there's an applied interview the following day. I've gotten quite used to those, so it should be a breeze. Let's hope I can keep this up. I feel like something good is awaiting me. Entry 11, April 11th, 2019. I can't sleep. I've had the most surreal 2 days in my life, filled with some of the biggest emotional highs and a few rather startling lows. I feel like I'm dreaming, to be honest. There's good news and bad news. Well, both of them are technically good, but one, not as much. I'll start with the great news. I won the lottery. I didn't win the jackpot. God knows how rare that is. Just the 50,000, but still, that's a lot considering it's a Powerball. Enough to last me a few years if I'm wise with it, and certainly enough to finally finish my treatment. Cashed in at their offices, did all the stuff the website told me, signed the back, keep it safe, don't tell anyone until you've cashed in, all of that. And they delivered it, 50,000, right into my bank account. No other questions asked. First person I told was obviously Sierra. I trusted her enough to not go telling everyone. And then I told Dave, Eric, and all my other close friends who I trusted enough to keep my secret. Then me and Sierra got a tiny bit carried away. Maybe that wasn't a great idea, considering everyone who knows me seems to be calling me to congratulate me now. Dad seemed real excited about it too when I called him. Said I was getting what I deserved, and the classic moral about how hard workers get rewarded by God eventually, by the lottery. I told him I'd see if I could get a plane ticket to come visit him. Couldn't put my bank account in jeopardy anymore, and I missed him a lot. I haven't seen him since university started. Second news is, well, I survived a car crash. It was the day before I won, and I was in a taxi to go to Sierra. When we were a minute or two away, some gray SUV crashed directly into the side of the vehicle. Another van collided into the SUV. I was able to get out quickly, mostly unscathed, but others weren't so lucky. The taxi driver broke his arm, and a couple in the SUV got lightly wounded. I didn't see the van driver again, and the whole thing was big enough to attract the vultures that are news reporters, so I'm guessing something might have happened to him. One of the news reporters interviewed me for a minute or two, so I got a little prime time. Sierra said she saw it on the TV. So did some other people. Everyone said I was lucky to get on the news like that. But honestly, I'm more glad to be uninjured. How many more of these are there? Oh, okay. All right. Entry 13, April 16th, 2019. Stuff's just getting weirder and weirder. I won the lottery again, another 50K in a row. I don't know what the probability of that is, but it's certainly nearing an extremely low barrier. In fact, they had to audit me at the offices for almost an hour just to make sure the victory wasn't fraudulent. I'm pretty sure they're still suspicious of me. I decided that I certainly had enough money to go visit Dad now. Maybe I could buy Sierra a ticket too if she wanted to go to the UK again. Not the most happy or interesting place ever, but it's still a unique country. I went on the news a few more times in the last 3 days, mostly the State Journal, but they also had me on an interview for a podcast dedicated to the news from Madison. Apparently going from being unable to pay your bills to slowly dying and to a somewhat mediocre financial position is something people find interesting, especially when it involves random chance. Maybe some people just hope to get lucky too. Maybe it's inspired them. Oh, and yeah, I got the job. Interview was a breeze. Applied interview was even easier, and I passed through all of it quicker than any other candidate. I got hired. Work started just this Monday. The job's nice and thankfully a lot more financially stable than working at a restaurant. Strangest thing that happened to me though is I got a call today. It was early in the morning and I was going to leave for work. My phone just started ringing. Someone calling my private phone number. The one nobody uses except Dad, Sierra, and maybe some close friends. I thought it was a wrong number situation at first, so I let it slide. Let's see. So I let it slide, but they just kept calling, so I picked it up, and I have absolutely no clue who the fuck this person was, but I'm convinced there's some kind of psychopathic stalker. They said they were someone called Dr. Brahm, some inter-reality communication specialist. God knows what that's meant to be. And they somehow had my name, my story, everything. Most of it was stuff that's already on the news, but they had a bit too much of my private information too. I tried to hang up, scared out of my mind, but they just relentlessly called me. I decided cooperation might be a good idea. They started asking all these personal questions, stuff about my lucky dice, the Monopoly set I had bought, my son's birthday, all that weird stuff. I kept asking and wondering when they were going to explain everything, but once I was done explaining the set to them, they just hang up. Never gave me any details. I tried to call again, no reply. Either this is some elaborate joke, or I should be going to the police right about now. Yeah. All right. April 23rd, 2019, entry 14. I'm starting to get seriously concerned. I don't say that lightly like last time. I mean it. I'm being messed with. Got into another accident. This one was even worse. I was riding the bus to work when a white car just swerved right into us at a roundabout. Worst part was this whole pileup happened on the road. It took a decent while before the road could be secured and shut off. The consequences are worse too. One of the guys had this entire windshield shatter into his face, and he had some extreme bleeding. Most of the people in the bus, including me, were fine at least. The others, not so sure. Also, just found a random package at the door. I'm sure it wasn't meant for me, but there was no address on it. Opened it up, and there was some new headphones inside. They looked like they costed a fortune, and I'm not really sure what to do with them. Just accept the lucky gift. Normally, I just ignore these situations and not worry about them, but considering how many of these have started happening recently, I'm starting to think that someone's messing with me, or worse, giving me free gifts. I haven't gotten called again by the stalkers. I hope I never see their number again. Entry 16, April 30th, 2019. Dad is doing so well. He was finally recovering, hadn't smoked in nearly a month, his all-time record, and things were finally looking up for him. I got the news he died on Monday. A phone call from the hospital telling me he had suffered a heart attack, maybe related to a sickness, maybe just random. Could have been either one of them. I couldn't go see him in his last moments. Not enough time to fly and see him. He was gone in a few hours. Had gone peacefully enough, at least. Funeral was yesterday. The booked a flight all the way to the UK, and Sierra decided to come with me. Said that I needed someone to support me. Tried to get her to stay, but she wouldn't budge. The funeral was a classic one. My dad was a Christian, so we had it at the church, the same one my mom's funeral had been in. There weren't many people, just family, friends, the people I knew he really cared about. I'm sure Dad would have liked the funeral. He left all his inheritance to me. Not a lot, but everything the poor man had left. Just enough to finish treatment. He said he was always proud of me. Yet, sitting at the bar the following day, scratch cards in one hand and a beer in the other, all I feel like is a bag of shit. Where's the, I can't see the scroll wheel, so I'm just, okay, all right, we're almost done here. Almost done. All right, journal entries, May 2nd, 2019, entry 17. It's late again, but I don't want to sleep. I can't sleep. I returned home yesterday. I didn't want to leave, but I had to return home for work, for Sierra's job, for my friends. Returned via plane, but I still had the day off, so I just spent it with Sierra. She's the only one keeping me sane at this point, yet even that effect's starting to wear off. Decided to take her on a date. Not a proper one, just one of those classic dinner dates we used to have. There's no better place than the Italian nearby. Maybe a shared margarita or something different with a soda and a tiramisu on the side. That's what I was planning. That's all I wanted. Until I got hit by a fucking car. And I was crossing the road when out of nowhere a speeding car pulled out from the side. Sierra was close, but I got absolutely demolished from the back. Car didn't stop, kept going, completely ignoring what they just did. I just fell to the ground. I thought it was over. Doc said most of my spine should have been damaged, but I'm fine. I felt perfectly. One of those lucky coincidences. Apparently, I just had to do small stuff to help with the bruising. Apart from that, perfectly, utterly, completely all right. This has to be abnormal, right? Something must be going on here. Something has to be going on here. I'm convinced because of the people. I'm sure they've done something to me. They're messing with me. That last straw was today. Bought the 2 last lottery tickets. Just 2 more to reassure myself I wasn't going crazy. 2 harmless little things. Harmless. A million. The jackpot. I'm sure. Took him a while. 5 days. Entry 18. May 7th, 2019. 5 days. I haven't cashed in the ticket yet. I don't think I should. If someone's playing with you, the best thing to do is defy the game. Resist it. You can't follow the path they lay for you. You need to counter it. You need to keep fighting. Went to the mall. Anywhere I go now, I'm afraid that something's going to happen. I can't keep my mind from overthinking. What if there's an accident, a robbery? But no one can ever really be ready, can they? There was a shooting. Everything got locked off in a matter of seconds. Police got called immediately, but it was too late. I watched them search for every hiding spot, find people, and deliver that little shot of the angel of death right into their skulls. Wow. Yet, even though my heart was pounding and every part of me was soaked with the smell of sweat, they passed me. Robbers all got shot by police, apparently. I left the mall, another accident. An entire pile of cars crashed and smashed into each other, the road resembling a scrapyard more than anything. I stood in the middle, watching as one of the car's motors ignited into flames. A dance of orange and yellow tendrils of fire playing together. 54 injured, 8 dead, 1 day. Entry 19, May 18th, 2019. I don't think I can handle this anymore. Everything is wrong. Sierra started isolating herself from me. Maybe she thought I was going crazy. I probably am. The straw that broke the camel's back was when she saw all the lottery tickets. I stashed dozens of them inside my shelf, almost all of them winning ones. She said she'd go to the police, that I was cheating, that I was some kind of criminal, that she couldn't handle me anymore. I tried to convince her, attempted to tell her this was some kind of god of messing with me, but she wouldn't listen. Said I was a lunatic. She's gone now. She only told one person about the tickets and me, and they are too. Died on the way to the police station. Car accident. Sierra broke her entire rib cage, bleeding out, and I never really heard what happened to our friend. Maybe something similar. All of my friends started leaving too. Now they're dropping like flies. Dave died from food poisoning. James from a house fire. Tina from a mugging. Maybe they got what they deserved. Maybe they didn't. All I know is that I'm alone. What? Entry 20, May 22nd, 2019. I can't feel myself anymore. There's a sense of paralysis, a complete loss of everything that has housed itself into me. There's people dying outside. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. My idea was nothing but stupidity. When you resist a god's game, you've already lost. Because once you defy them, they hold enough power over you to enact the consequences of such action. They've trapped you in their limitless grasp. They've hung you by the neck, weak and sheepish. Yet no matter how dire the situation, I sense an impending escape. Entry 21, May 25th, 2019. I suppose the end has come. I looked up at the sky. A red dot lay suspended in the air, and even though it seemed static, I could see it's growing. I could feel it consuming the world around us, buying its time until it slowly expands and across the horizon, feeding off the sky itself. Is this a Daybreaks reference? Everyone is panicked. Everyone that's left. There's been hysteria for a week anyways. Our world has left us with nothing but pure anarchy. I still have the dice. I haven't let go of them ever since I first touched them. I just prayed that I would finally escape this hellhole. Everything has been ruined. Entry 22, May 26, 2019. I took a final image, just in case everything isn't destroyed. I still want to be remembered. I no longer feel sad. Just some indescribable emotion has filled me, something between melancholy and excitement, filling every part of me in these last moments. I'll finish writing this, and then I'll watch the sky. I'll watch that abyss in the sky grow larger and larger, and I'll be the only one to ever know why. This is how it ends. I've beaten Brahms' game. I've beaten them, finally.
Terminal notification. Your IRCR terminal has received the following notification. File list assigned to 57599 clearance has been updated. Return to terminal. Inter-reality communications relations database department, blah, blah, blah. We remove the first file. The second file is still there, but now we have the third file. July 1st, 2022. This is 5 months, 4.5 months from the previous entry. Item number SCP-7599. Classification level 5. Top secret. Containment class esoteric. Secondary class neutralized. Disruption class Amida. Risk class critical. Special containment procedures. It is imperative that SCP-7599-1 and SCP-7599-2 are never found. Through the help of the IRCR, both instances of SCP-7599 have been contained inside of a pocket